Where's the fruit from? Scam jam alert. Meghan's fake homemade jam factory exposed. The jam that launched 1,000 eyebrows. Imagine receiving a beautifully wrapped jar of jam on your doorstep, adorned with floral labels and a handwritten tag that reads, "From the heart of the American Riviera." Sounds deliciously charming, right? Now, imagine learning that the jam inside may not even be made where the label says, and the strawberries, or wait, is it raspberries now, might not even be real. Welcome to the bizarre, fruit-flavored saga of Meghan Markle's American Riviera orchard jam line, a supposedly artisanal, homemade endeavor that's got more twists than a season finale of Suits. What started as a picture-perfect brand launch is now unraveling into what the internet has dubbed scam jam. And whether you're a jam lover, a royal watcher, or just someone who enjoys a juicy scandal, this is one sticky story you won't want to miss. So grab a scone, or maybe just some popcorn, and let's dig into how Meghan's fruit fantasy became a full-blown fraud fiasco. Section 1. From royalty to raspberry, the sweet launch that turned sour. It all began with a dreamy Instagram reveal. Meghan Markle, standing in a sun-drenched California kitchen, delicately holding a jar of her new homemade jam. The label read American Riviera Orchard, and the flavor?
Strawberry.
Sweet, familiar, wholesome, just like the brand image Meghan has tried so hard to cultivate since her royal exit. Almost overnight, celebrity influencers, hand-picked friends, and even some B-list Hollywood players received limited edition gift boxes with what they claimed was the best jam ever. Cue the fanfare, the aesthetic unboxing videos, and carefully filtered snapshots of bread smeared with glossy red jelly. But then something odd happened. The next wave of promotions revealed a different jam. Raspberry, not strawberry. There was no announcement, no explanation, not even a cheeky flavor rebrand. One day it was strawberry. The next day, raspberry.
Just like that.
Was this a seasonal shift? A rebranding strategy? Or something stickier? Keep reading. Things only get fruitier. Section 2. Who picked these berries? The curious case of sourcing silence. If you've ever bought jam from your local farmer's market, you know the drill. Labels that proudly declare hand-picked from grandma's backyard or organically grown just down the road. These aren't just sweet details. They're what builds trust. But American Riviera Orchard's jam? Not a peep. There's no mention of where the fruit is from. No partnerships with local farms. No USDA organic certification. Just vague allusions to handcrafted in the heart of Montecito. And here's the kicker. Multiple jam aficionados, yes, that's a real thing, and food bloggers try to track the product's origin. Nothing. One popular food sleuth even called the local farmers in Santa Barbara, and not a single one had sold fruit to Meghan's team. So what gives? If you're touting a high-end, homegrown product, why not proudly disclose your sources? Unless, of course, there's something to hide. Section 3. Jared in confusion. When aesthetics trump authenticity. Let's talk about the packaging for a second. Because if there's one thing Meghan's jam does deliver on, it's looking expensive. The labels are handwritten in elegant cursive. The jars come wrapped in silk cloths and tied with twine. They're the kind of jam jars that would probably charge you rent if they could talk. But here's the strange part. Consumers who actually tasted the jam described it as mid. One celebrity stylist reportedly said it tasted like grocery store jelly but came dressed for a Met Gala.
Ouch.
Others noted a lack of fruit chunks, a suspiciously smooth texture, mass production, and a generic, overly sweet profile that didn't match the artisanal promise. Was this jam made in a cozy cottage kitchen or in a faceless factory warehouse? That's when the term scam jam was born. And let's be honest, it's got a spreadable ring to it, doesn't it? Section 4. Celebrity endorsements, or just clever gifting. Now, before you say, but Reese Witherspoon posted about it. Yes, she did. So, did Tracy Ellis. Bonus section, a closer look. What the label doesn't say. We've talked about the flavor switch, the mysterious sourcing, and the posh packaging, but let's go a bit deeper. Let's zoom in on that label. The original jars of American Riviera orchard jam had a soft, handwritten script that read something like, "Handcrafted with love in Montecito, California." Sounds lovely, right? But there's a catch. Handcrafted isn't a regulated term in the food industry. Anyone can use it. You could technically slap that on a bottle of ketchup mixed in a backroom somewhere. It gives the illusion of care, effort, and small batch authenticity, without legally needing to prove anything. Same goes for phrases like "from our orchard to your table" or "farm fresh." They aren't always backed by proof. That's why so many watchdogs and bloggers are raising eyebrows. If this were truly a small batch, homemade jam operation, there would be permits, health inspections, and most likely a commercial kitchen license attached to it. So far, no such records have been found in Montecito or anywhere nearby. And let's not forget, real artisan food producers love to show their process. You'll find behind-the-scenes videos, photos of sticky countertops, stories of early morning fruit picking. But Meghan's team? Not a single shot of a kitchen, let alone a berry. So what's really in that jar? And who exactly put it there? Section 8. The curious timing. Was the jam a PR distraction? Here's where things get even more suspicious. The jam's launch came on the heels of several uncomfortable headlines for the Sussexes. Rumors of strained finances, criticism over past business deals, remember the Spotify fiasco, and swirling questions about their dwindling influence in both Hollywood and royal circles. Suddenly, poof, a lifestyle brand emerges, cloaked in pastel colors and handwritten labels. A coincidence? Or calculated distraction? Some media analysts believe the launch was never meant to be a real business. Instead, it might have been a classic PR maneuver, a way to pivot the conversation, reframe Meghan's image, and rebrand her as a wholesome California entrepreneur. But the problem with that strategy? Once you put a product in people's hands, especially something they're supposed to eat, they expect it to be real. And they will sniff out every inconsistency. Literally. But the problem with that strategy? Once you put a product in people's hands, especially something they're supposed to eat, they expect it to be real. And they will sniff out every inconsistency. Literally. Was Meghan counting on the jam itself distracting people from everything else? If so, she clearly underestimated just how much people love to dig into the details. Section 9. The internet reacts, memes, mockery, and Jamgate. If you thought the internet wouldn't have a field day with this, you must be new here. Almost immediately after the inconsistency surfaced, Twitter, X, exploded with hashtags like #ScamJam, #WhereAreTheBerries, and the incredibly catchy #Jamgate. Some users compared the jam to Fyre Festival's infamous cheese sandwich. Others jokingly asked if the raspberries were grown in Buckingham Palace's secret garden. One viral TikTok showed a taste test comparing American Riviera orchard jam to a $2 jar of Smucker's, and spoiler alert, Smucker's won. This isn't just about fruit preserves anymore. It's about trust. It's about image. And Meghan's team may have underestimated how a small glass jar could stir up such a big storm. Is there any coming back from Jamgate? Or is this the toast of Meghan's empire? Section 10. Actionable lessons. How to launch a product without losing trust. Let's pause the drama for a second and talk takeaways. Because believe it or not, there are some seriously useful business lessons baked into this jammy mess. 1. Be transparent, even if you're not perfect. Consumers don't need you to be perfect, they just need you to be honest. Didn't get organic berries this season? Fine, just say so. Sourced ingredients from another region?
Cool. Be upfront about it.
People appreciate the truth. 2. Let the product speak for itself. No amount of influencer gifting or luxury packaging can make up for a bad product. If it tastes good and feels real, people will buy it and talk about it. 3. Don't launch for hype. Launch for longevity. Short-term PR gains might spike attention, but if you don't follow through, the backlash can be brutal. If Meghan's team had waited, perfected the product, and offered it for sale with transparency, whole different story. 4. Engage with critics, don't ignore them. Silence only fuels suspicion. If your customers are confused, respond.
Clarify.
Engage. It shows confidence and builds loyalty. 5. Build first, brand second. Too often, celebrities think branding is the business. It's not. The product is. Branding is just the pretty bow on the gift box. What's inside still matters. Section 11. Can Meghan redeem the jam? Or should she just stick to royalty? So what happens next? Could Meghan relaunch the jam line with transparency, open up about the process, and maybe even offer an apology for the confusion? Sure. Will she? That's anyone's guess. The truth is, there's still a chance to turn this fiasco around. People are hungry for a redemption arc. If she brought in real food artisans, shared footage of the production, disclosed ingredients, and launched a legit store, she'd win back more than a few skeptics. But for now, the damage has been done. American Riviera Orchard might forever be known as the jam that tried to. Section 12. The influence of Hollywood branding, when lifestyle meets make-believe. Let's zoom out for a moment and take a look at the bigger picture. Meghan Markle's jam saga isn't happening in a vacuum. This is part of a larger trend where celebrities lean into lifestyle branding, often blurring the lines between reality and image. Goop, by Gwyneth Paltrow. Honest Company, by Jessica Alba. Even Kim Kardashian's SKKN. These brands worked because, while they launched with glam and buzz, they followed through with real products, transparent practices, and actual customer access. What separates them from Meghan's American Riviera Orchard?
Substance.
It's one thing to sell a lifestyle, it's another to deliver on it. Meghan has always leaned into a polished, aspirational image, the stylish duchess turned wellness entrepreneur, sipping lemon water on her Montecito patio. But branding only gets you so far. Without something tangible behind the curtain, the whole thing feels like Hollywood set dressing. And you have to wonder, when the lights go out,